So this is video 7. Okay, so they want the body of Ham to rotate around the Christ, the Antichrist head, right? Which is what humanity is doing right now, rotating around the Antichrist head of the Vatican, right? The Vatican of Cain, right? And its commercial cabal, banking cabal, right? That's what humanity is revolving around, right? And being socially engineered by, right, the Antichrist, right? But they don't want you to recognize it as that because they know you would revolt against it. So they're trying to do it sneaky, right? And with their HR 1242, okay, just skipping over 3. I wonder why. But anyway, so 1242, maybe because all of those numbers add up to 9. And 9 represents the end of something and the start of something new, right? Because 9, what starts at 9? 10. And what's a 10, right? We know what 10 is right now. 10 is where the shit is, right? Because that's where the north node is. Because if the body is there, the shit is there because the shit comes from the body, right? Okay, so shit is at the, not the north node, shit is at the south node. Because shit is where the body comes. Shit comes out of the body. So that's where the shit is, and that's where you want to avoid, right? So you want to avoid the south node, right? But then, and that's what mankind is revolving around, the root chakra, right? The root chakra. Okay. So anyway, okay, we said that humanity is programmed through the temporal lobe, is temporal consciousness that prevents humanity from consciously evolving telepathically beyond the 5 senses on the physical plane. Humanity enters the female Milky Way galaxy by the cardinal plane. That would be the first trimester. Okay, so it enters at Cancer, right? Where the cat's eye is, right? The cat's eye. The cat's blue eye. The cat's blue eye commemorates where the galactic pussy is, right? The pussy cat. It's like the keyhole, the teeny tiny keyhole where the celestial father connects with the celestial mother galaxy, right? Those galaxies connect, right? They come together to create the solar systems within. Let's say the moon stars, the stars within, right? It creates those stars, those star systems within, right? Okay. And those star systems create our families, right? And they have families to create galaxies, right? Okay. So, anyway, they don't want man to evolve beyond the physical plane, right? Humanity, we said that humanity enters the female Milky Way galaxy from the cardinal plane. That would be the first trimester, because Cancer would be the first trimester, right? And the cardinal black, first trimester of the cardinal black female galaxy. And the female galaxy, all the galaxies have the spiraling hair, the nappy hair, the locks, right? The hair locks, right? The locks of hair, the curls, the nappy hair, right? Which goes in junction when it says the man was created from black clay. Just like in Islam, it says that. Okay? Because it has the nappy hair. Just like Ham had the nappy hair. Just like Prophet born of a virgin had the nappy hair. And the dark bronze, black, dark skin, right? Hair like wool, right? And in Islam, I read in Islam he had locks. Like the Rastafarians, right? Okay. So anyway, the cardinal plane is the female, is the first cardinal plane, where the first trimester begins at the cardinal plane. okay, for the black female galaxy, right? Which is the Milky Way. Okay, so where the celestial consummation and insemination begins, we are talking cosmic, orgasmic sex. And that's why the root chakra is not to be taken for granted, it's not to be exploited, it's sacred. Sacred. Okay? Love making is sacred because it produces life within this universe. Right? Okay. Now, the crocodile's eye is the fiery pit, which is, let's say, the crocodile's eye, the cat's eye, right? That Kundalini's eye, the Kundalini's eye, or the summer solstice, okay, would be the Kundalini's eye or the crocodile's eye. That's why they call it a crocodile. The Kundalini's eye is the fiery pit, and it's because it coils up. The energy coils like the locks, right? Like the locks, like the spiraling arms of the galaxy. It's curls, right? So the Kundalini curls at the base of the spine, I believe. But what we're talking about is the root chakra, right? Okay, so they call it, because it coils like a snake, that's why they call it a reptile. Okay, that's why they call it a crocodile. No, a reptile. I just call them crocodiles because, they say reptiles. But the Kundalini is like coils itself like a snake, right? Okay, so we'll call it the Kundalini's eye. The Kundalini's eye, or this right here, they call it the cat's eye, blue eye, cat's blue eye. It marks the North Star, or the North Star at the North Polar Star. Okay, is the Kundalini's eye is the fiery pit, right? When it's hot, when she's hot, right? When the galaxy is hot, right? When the female is hot, right? Okay, the fiery pit in which the Kundalini is coiled, or at the root chakra. This is thus the beast awakens, the dragon, the Kundalini awakens, and it's right. It gets excited, right? Oh, and it craves the affection of its Andromeda, its masculine, right? Its twin flame, right? They're evenly yoked, right? Okay, so thus the beast awakens, right? The passion would be the beast. That would be the beast, right? It awakens. The Kundalini awakens. The awakening of the Kundalini, the sleeping Kundalini. What is they call Alpha Draco? Now, no, they can call it Alpha Draco all they want, but the shit owns nothing. The only thing the shit or the pig is entitled to is to eat shit, nothing else. So calling it Draco the dragon and all that, denoting it to the reptilian species and all that. No, they get nothing. They get no recognition. That's what I'm saying. It is very important not to use their language, because empowering them through language. Don't even give them that. They own nothing. No Kundalini, no Africa, no, none of that. Now I can say I'm black because black clay is what Allah created humanity out of. Everybody can claim they're black. Everybody. The Europeans are Asian. Everybody. We're all black. But now we're talking culture here. The only thing that distinguishes from the other is the culture, right? The culture. Okay. So when I say black European, I'm talking about the Europeans that came from Europe. When I say Asian European, I'm talking about the Asians that came from from Asia. When I'm talking about black Koreans, I'm not talking about their skin. I'm talking about I'm not talking about their skin. I'm talking about their ancestral heritage. That's what I'm talking about as it relates to the first man, the black carbon atom. Okay? That's what I'm talking about. So we don't want to get that twisted. And we don't want to get bleached out, because we need to stay close to the root, right? Because that protects the embryos when they're incarnated, when they are when they are when they are incarnating, right? When the embryos are developing into fetuses and beyond that, they're protected by the melon. So you need your melon, Asian. You need your melon, European. You need your melon, native of this land, which was Turtle Island. You need your melon, Mexican. You need it. And you need to keep your Hebrew people, your darkest hued of people. You need to appreciate them. And just like I said, those who treat the Hebrews well, they will be favored, right? They're favored because they got that crown consciousness to be creative. Look how rap went all throughout the world. Look how, mashallah, the King Michael Jackson benefited the whole world. Okay? Look how the style, look at Egypt, look at the great cultures. Look at Prophet Abraham. Look at the civilization of the humanity. Look at the consciousness. Look at the knowledge. Take away the black man, the black people. You take away a life itself. You want to start a nuclear? You don't need a nuclear war to destroy humanity. Just take away the black man, you destroy it. The black man even has the power to repulse the sun. Even the sun is scared of the black man. Shit. The black man retards the sun. The black man will retard the sun. What are you doing? So, yeah. Okay? That's how much power he got. To block those rays. Cosmic rays. Okay? Protect the internal body. Okay. But absorb the heat. And utilize it to feed the body and send it up to open the crown chakra and be creative. And manifest. So, yeah. Any culture that embraces them, embraces the wealth of creation. Anyone that goes against them goes against their own better good and what the manifestation of prosperity through creativity. You know, everybody copies the black man. Every freaking body, whether you like it or not. They do. The style, the way they talk, the way they walk, everything. But then they turn around and want to curse them like with the Nazi curse of Ham. The way the Nazis tried to curse Ham and tried to change the Bible to reflect it. Okay? But yet turn around and want to be Cush, an Ethiopian, a Hebrew, a descendant of Prophet Abraham, and steal the legacy as a result of it, and the Holy Land, and the connection to the universe, and the crown chakra, and all that. Because they know the gift of being black. Staying in their blackness. They know the gift of what staying in your blackness represents, staying close to your roots represent. And everything is going home, so you gotta go home to your roots. Because this energy is going to be intense. It's going to come through. It's going to be intense. I mean, if it has the power to change, to make the sun shine from the east to now shine in the rise in the west, it's going to be some intense energy. You think your brain can endure that? Without being shielded, without being protected? That's like saying the fetus can develop in the womb without melon. You're going to need something to protect your mind. Okay? And that's what melon is going to do. That carbon is so strong enough to turn to diamond. The carbon turning to diamond is like having the Christ consciousness, transcending the physical consciousness and going back up to the Father. That's what the diamond represents. So, and going into your crown chakra consciousness, converting that energy. So you need that. You need to be back to your roots so that you can crystallize and become that diamond. Okay? You need to do that. Okay, so okay. So we said the third eye, the fiery pit, waking Kundalini. Okay, so the sleeping Kundalini, aka sleeping Kundalini, what they call Draco. Okay, the cat is aka the cat's blue eye at the North Stellar Pole is the stellar pussycat. Yeah. Okay, stellar pussycat of the female galaxy and the dragon lady when she is hot, right? Okay. the dragon woman or the dragon lady, when she is in heat and nothing will satisfy until she gets her, thirst quenched, right? Till the dragon gets his fire put out, right? Yeah. So when she comes into her season of cycle, and heat at the summer solstice, aka Ramadan. Ramadan. That Ramadan represents the hottest time of the year. It represents the hottest time when the sun is the most intense, and that's why they call it Ramadan. So, and look what came down in Ramadan, the Holy Quran, Islam. The angel Jibril came down in Ramadan. So again, Islam is in sync with the universe, but that's why they want to get rid of Islam, because they don't want humanity to be in sync. Remember, they don't want you to get away. They don't want you to get away. They want to continue to feed upon you. They're not called reptilians. They're called jinn. The jinn. Okay? So from now on, I'll call them the jinn. They're jinn. And they're a good jinn and they're a bad jinn. Okay? The bad jinn are the ones that cause all the havoc. The good jinn are the ones that, they try to, I would imagine they war against the bad jinn. Okay? So they may war against the bad jinn. But they're the ones who fought. The good jinn are obedient to Allah. The bad jinn are the shaitan. Okay? The bad jinn and shaitans. They're bad. Okay. So anyway, so that Ramadan represents the hottest time of the year. It represents the summer solstice. Okay? So, again, it's in harmony with the universe. Okay? Now, and she, again, the summer solstice, the dragon lady, when she becomes a dragon lady, right, becomes hot and he begins her cycle, right, and wants to be intercourse, right? Now, and notice after Ramadan, Hajj begins, and the Hajj begins, and Hajj is when Muslim pilgrimage to Mecca, right, the Holy Land, and they climb Mount Arafat. And again, Mount Arafat is not named after Arafat. Arafat was named after the mountain Arafat. But the Muslims go, after they make their set dawah, and go 7 times around the Kaaba, right, which is like the tetrad, okay, and which is like going through the 7 heavens, right, climbing the 7 dimensions, okay, to get to the top, and then at the top of the mountain, and then they converse with Allah. They intercourse consciously with Allah, right, through prayer, right? Okay, so it's the same thing. Okay, so the Ramadan, so she becomes in season, right? At the summer solstice, it becomes hot, right? The hottest time of the year, right? The female's the hottest time of her year, right? Hottest time of her season, and she becomes the red hot dragon lady. That's why the red, men can't wear red because it represents the woman in heat, the woman in her passion and wanting ecstasy, right? Okay, but and just like Ramadan and fasting, right? The energy has to be controlled, right? Energy has to be controlled and go back up to the crown chakra, go back up to Allah. Like in fasting, has to restrain oneself from that, from eating, consuming, feeding the body, and they have to, right? And that energy goes back to Allah when they converse with Allah at the on Mount Arafat, right? They climb that mountain to converse with Allah after they make their 7 dawah, right? After they make the dawah, that is going around the Kaaba 7 times, okay? And that is a symbolic of going to higher and higher to the dimensions of Jannah, right? Okay, so, and then they intercourse, right? They ask for what they want, right? They pray for going to Jannah, pray for the world, pray for, they just pray for what is called barakah. Barakah. They pray for barakah. Okay? I don't say pray for blessings because blessings and bliss sounds too much like Iblis, and Iblis was that shit's name. Iblis is the name of the shit creature. Iblis is the name of the pig. So I don't say blessings and bliss. I don't use their language. Watch their language, because they hide, you know, the worship of the creature, the worship of shit in the language too. So you got to watch that, what you say. Listen to what you say. Watch how it's spelled and all of this stuff. You have to be the protector of your own soul. Okay, that's a good thing about Islam. You don't have to follow a preacher or priest or none of that. You read the Quran. You'll do, especially men, have to go to the mosque on Friday and make salah. You do have to make hajj. You do have to give zakat. But as far as following a preacher, you don't have to follow a preacher. You can learn from them, and men have to go to make, Jummah prayer and listen to the khutbah, and those are lessons, you know, about, that's congregation like, and they have to listen, they give lectures and teach them from the khutbah, you know, about the Quran, about from the hadith and all these different things, you know. But men have to go, women don't have to go, but men have to go. But as far as following a preacher, no, there's no preacher. You have to teach yourself. Islam is about teaching yourself. It's about self-educating. But you do have to. It's, you know, self-educating. That's why when you talk to Muslim, every Muslim is different. Every Muslim is different, and that's one of the beauties of Islam too. You know, every Muslim is different, just like Islam spans in many cultures. You know, and it's in every culture, and and just like the foods are different in every culture, maybe the style of dress is different in every culture, because you're not really following a pastor or a preacher or the Vatican or nothing like that to set the codes. Allah set the codes. Muslims, every believer is to follow them. Okay? Every believer is to follow it. And there's not a set of believers that are to force the will of Allah upon any other believer. No. A believer or a Muslim has to self-discipline, has to discipline themselves. Okay? That's what a good Muslim does. They discipline themselves. Okay? And they live in, and being disciplined themselves, they live in harmony with their environment. Okay? So, now, as I said, Ramadan is the time when the dragon becomes, the Kundalini awakens. It becomes heated, right? Because now, as you know, of course, when the body is deprived of food, it becomes heated. It wants food. It craves, right? It intensifies the energy, the passion, the desire. And so that energy is sent back up during Ramadan to awaken the crown chakra. Then the person goes to the 7 heavens, right? Going counterclockwise, like the stars, like the planets, going counterclockwise, and then ultimately get to the top of the mountain, right? They go to make up the mountain, and they converse or intercourse consciously with Allah, right? Same process. It's a cycle of life. Okay. Now, it is why in Islam men are not allowed to wear red clothing. Purely red clothing. Red is the primary color of the female dragon or the Kundalini in heat. It is the blue pussy of the, meaning the blue eye, the blue pussy cat. It is the blue pussy, the eye of the blue eye represents the blue eye of the pussy cat. What they call it, the cat's eye, which represents the keyhole of the alpha dragon, right? I mean, of the Kundalini. Okay. But the blue Kundalini, when it's, okay, so no, we talked about that. So the red Kundalini, oh no, so that, no, here we are. The blue pussy of the Kundalini, is the pussy when it's cold, not in heat, right? When the pussy has a headache. Okay? It is, okay, so now we said, alpha trick, no, the Kundalini, red hot. Okay, so when it's red, represented by the red, or at summer solstice, it's the red hot dragon, or the red hot Kundalini dragon lady in heat. Okay, so black and red represent the woman in heat. Okay, represents the hot Kundalini. Okay, when it's hot. The blue Kundalini, when the Kundalini is blue. Okay, so we had a red shift and a blue shift. We even have that in the universe. We have a red shift and a blue shift. What do they call it when it's a red shift? Let me get. When it's a red shift, they call it, I forget the name of what they call it. when the universe is a redshift. I'll try to think of it. But when it's a redshift. But anyway, so we have when it's a blue redshift, it is where am I at? Oh my gosh. Okay. Oh my gosh, where am I at? I hate when I do this. Let me see what time it is. Okay, so oh, okay. No, I'm way down here. Okay, there it is. Okay, it is okay, there we are. Okay, so black and red represent the Kundalini in heat, and blue represents the Kundalini at Saturn, the summer solstice. The winter solstice. Okay, when she is at Saturn. Okay, ice is cold. Ice cold. That's where they get the word Isis from. Ice cold. Put out the sun, right? So the Kundalini, when it is at Saturn or the winter solstice, represents Isis, ice cold, okay, with a monster headache. Saturn is the South Pole, where the Kundalini is the most frigid, cold, and the universe, is using the North Node to direct humanity away from the South Node and sending it to let's say the North Node, when the dragon lady, or no, the Kundalini is the most highest, right? It's most intense. Ramadan, most intense, right? So so it's directing humanity toward Ramadan, okay, toward Islam, toward the Kaaba, toward the Hajj, toward the toward Jannah, toward the high mountains, toward the crown chakra, toward the Christ consciousness, toward the Andromeda, the Father consciousness, right? The highest consciousness, right? To intercourse, right? Is to go home, to intercourse. Okay, so so the North Node is guiding humanity, the head, away from the shit, away from the body, right? It is because the South Node is where it's the most frigid at this time, right? And the North-South Node is guiding humanity away from Saturn and Capricorn and a cold, frigid Kundalini, right? Okay? And the unconsciousness is guiding it away from shit. Shit is death, right? When shit comes out of the body, it has no good. It's no good, right? It can't feed, no, it has no life in it. So therefore, it's guiding humanity away from death, right? And that's what they're trying to do in 2019, is kill the body of humanity with the presence of the Antichrist, right? And the re-election and the desire to re-elect the Antichrist and give them power, transfer all of the power to global power by breaking all the treaties and becoming a rogue nation and starting all this aggression and competition and wars, and transferring all that and acting in conjunction with the regime of Saudi, the Salman bin Pig Saudi, and Salman, and the Zionists who are Antichrist, who are occupying the Holy Land of Palestine, and which is already prophecy. I told you about prophecy coming in. What's going to happen when Salman dies? Okay, there's going to be a war, and that is why Salman's son is head of the military, right? Because they already know. They just don't think you know. But they already know what's going on. And when that happens, a big earthquake's going to come and swallow that army up. And that's why they're creating this war. They want to get rid of Iran, destroy Iran's military, destroy Syria's military. They destroyed Iraq's military. And Pakistan, you better be careful aligning yourself with Saudi Arabia, with the Salman Pig Salman, because you got nuclear bombs, and they'll be the first one to accuse you of setting off a nuclear bomb and then coming in and destroying you too, because they want to get rid of your bombs too. They want to destroy you too. Pakistan. So you better watch yourself and don't get in this mess. But they'll put you in it anyway and make up a lie. You brutalize them doing something with Kashmir or something. And even Kush. Kashmir represents Kush. Kashmir represents Ham. So all this divinity that surrounds Ham. It is even said that the Indian culture of India represents Ham and Abraham. And now but only in the Bible is Ham cursed. But everywhere else in the world he's favored. He's given favor. That's so the Hebrew man comes out of the line of Ham. Or the black man. But really the Hebrew man. Cush comes out of that, right? Because Ethiopia is Cush. Okay. But the Bible don't want to tell you that. The European Bible don't want to tell you that. Because they don't want you. They want to usurp. Well, no, I won't say European. King James Bible don't want to tell you that because they want to usurp you. The Vatican don't want to tell you that. You think they don't know? They're the ones who tried to rip you up out of the Holy Land. They're the ones who's trying to rip the Palestinians out of the Holy Land. And the Palestinians are related to Ham. Palestinians are related to Abraham. I told you, they're the brother and sister of the black people. Well, meaning they're like the black carbon atom. That's what I'm trying to say. All other men are the semen. Okay, they're the children of Adam. But the Arabs, Abraham, all the words are there. Arab and Ham are one. Okay? Okay. Now, so we were at, okay. Now, on the cardinal plane, let's see where we are. Dang, we get there fast. We're going to go to video 8 soon. Okay. On the cardinal plane, the stellar first floor, Saturn, on the cardinal plane, the stellar first floor, that will be the highest plane, okay, of this solar system, the mother solar system, right? Okay, on this plane, also, because this is the feminine plane, this is where man incarnates, then he spiritually goes back to the Father where he spiritually came from, right? Physically incarnates here and spiritually goes back to the Father consciousness, the Father plane, in Andromeda, the consciousness of Adam, the light consciousness, the photonic light, right? Okay. Total pure stellar light. Like a friend of mine, I tell him, it's like on Golden Pond. I think it was Ron Howard made a movie on Golden Pond. We're going to get back to that when we go here. So